Say what you will about the Gunsen, but it's objectively the best Warfan in Warframe, and that's because it's the only one. Hey guys, hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Laser, and today, as you can see, we're going to be talking about the Gunsen. And if you get what I was going for with this color scheme, then have a +1 on the awesome scale. In any case, my builds and guides usually take a more new player friendly approach simply because there's a lot of information here that most of the time simply gets skipped over, and I feel that I should cover it. So veterans of the game, please bear with me. Now, let's hop into the Gunsen. As per the usual, let's first take a look at how the weapon handles without anything equipped. And there's one problem to the Gunsen, and you will notice it kinda quickly. It kinda stops the, well, fan itself. I don't know, maybe it's very hot in Warframe, but in any case, let's just equip a stance because we don't have a lot of options when it comes to that. Again, there is one war fan in Warframe and one stance for it, and that is slicing feathers. Now, a quick look at the combo list, and I will spare you all the testing and trouble. You need to use, or you should use, better said, Skating Plume. This is by far the most efficient combo and the most easiest to execute. You simply hold your right click, press down. And if we do that combo, we're gonna be spared the BS. As you can see, no more fanning of anything. Just flat out attacks. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the actual build. There's a couple of different ways you can use the Gunsen, but first things first, the stats. Attack speed 1.17, channeling cost is 5, channeling damage is 1.5 as per the usual, critical chance unfortunately only 16%, and a crit multiplier of 2.0. These are rather low stats, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't use it with the old-fashioned Blood Rush Berserker combo. It's still gonna work, just simply not as well as I would have liked. Damage block is 80, leap attack 100, spin attack 107, and you'll see that the wall attack in this case is actually the highest. Wall attack not that many people use, but at least it's not a sliding weapon. Riven disposition is 3 out of 5, which is surprising. I was expecting the Gunsen to be a bit higher, but in any case the Rivens for this weapon will be quite nice, and we do have a Riven for a bit of quote-unquote endgame potential. Status chance is 28%, and this is where the Gunsen shines. Not only here in the 28% status chance, but also take a look at the default damage. We got impact, puncture, and the highest amount is slash. So we got a high status chance with high slash damage. Yes, we are gonna have a little bit of fun. Now I'm gonna tell you straight off the bat, I'm gonna recommend for you guys two builds. One that is more common and mostly accepted, and the one that I like to use, which people will call me crazy for, but that's alright. So the first thing we're gonna do is check out the mod capacity is 70. You get this one by jumping into actions and upgrading with an Orokin catalyst. This one can be obtained from alerts, invasions, or if you're lucky, daily sortie. If not, pay 20 plat for it, just like I usually do. You'll notice the number 2 over here up top. This means that the weapon has been format a total of 2 times, but you guys can get away with zilch, with nothing, with 0 at all. I did it for the purpose of testing and, well, because I have a Riven, okay? I doubled up enough. Let's add some damage to this thing because as per the usual, this is the first thing you should do. Pressure point is the mod for damage, and if you guys got prime version of any of the mods that I suggest, then by all means go right on ahead and use your prime version. But for the sake of presentation, we're gonna keep it to normals, then we're gonna switch to prime and all whatnot. After that, we're gonna slap on Condition Overload. Now, this weapon does work with Condition Overload simply because it has all the free physical damage types on it by default. So Condition Overload is definitely, well, I would say mandatory for this weapon. And with that out of the way, we got our damage out. We're gonna get 60% melee damage for each status type affecting the target. So that's very important to keep in mind for something a bit later. Why don't we amplify that crit chance now? We're gonna go for the tried and true recipe of Blood Rush with Berserker. Now, this is a very common setup up until this point at least. Blood Rush will give us 165% critical chance, stacks with combo multiplier, and Berserker will give us up to 75% attack speed for 24 seconds on critical hit. And with Blood Rush equipped, we're gonna do loads of critical hits. And now that we got our critical chance, how about some critical damage? It's pointless to increase your critical chance if you don't have any critical damage, and Organ Shatter is gonna be the mod we equipped. And with that out of the way, we should be looking towards amplifying our damage with some elemental damage. Keep in mind that elemental damage should be equipped based on who you're fighting. As per the usual, we're gonna exemplify against the Grenier because usually these are the toughest guys. Corpus and everybody else simply dies too easy to exemplify much of anything against them. But if you're going against Corpus, build gas, or if you want to destroy their shields, you can build magnetic. My recommendation would be gas, and against infested, mostly anything works, so you can just go for flat out fire. Now, let's keep in mind that we do have condition overload here, and our status chance is 28%, so what we can do is go for the 60-60 mods. When adding elemental damage, we always have the option, or we should have the option, of adding the 90% mods or the 60-60 mods. All the 60-60 mods that I recommend to you guys are easy to obtain, not expensive at all. If you can't be arsed to farm it, then by all means pick it up from the trade chat for 10-15 plaque on the max. We're gonna be putting here a combination between cold, so it's gonna be Vicious Frost for the 60-60 mod, and Toxin. Now you might know that the combination of Frost, or cold better said, and Toxin will result in viral damage. Now viral together with slash are like two peas in a pod, simply because viral will reduce the health of enemies to 50%, and that means in a way that our slashes will be doing double damage as long as the viral proc doesn't run out while the target is still alive. That's kind of like a trade-off there, but in any case, slash should always be built with viral. It is definitely a worthy option. As for our last pick, we're gonna go for a bit of a comfort pick. What we're gonna do is extend our combo duration, because in ordinary everyday gameplay you run from a place to another. If your combo drops, then well, it's kinda gonna hurt you on the damage side, and the best idea in our case is gonna be Drifting Contact. Now Drifting Contact, again, it's a fairly common mod, easy to obtain and not very expensive. I think 10 plat. Increases the combo duration by 10 seconds, so when we run from a target to another, our combo won't drop, which again costs a lot of DPS, and it also is gonna give us 40% status chance, which works really well with the base 28% status chance of the Gunsen. So you see, we climbed up our status chance to 72.8. Now we got viral damage, we got everything in place. Why don't we test it? And test it we will. This is a build you can go for. By the way, Relentless Combination, some of you guys are thinking about Relentless Combination, and we're gonna talk about that just a tad later. Now basically what we're gonna do is, like I told you, we're just gonna execute the Slicing Plume, something like that, the right click combo. That is the simplest to do, and to be honest, it's also the most efficient. And these guys are level 115 Heavy Gunner, Corrupted Heavy Gunner. As you can see, the slash procs do kind of go to town on them. Let's stop on this guy. Stop, damn it. Oh, damn, he bled out before I can exemplify anything. That's a bit rude. Alright, let's exemplify some slash procs on this guy. With the viral, as you can see, it simply shreds right through them. And this is not bad results, definitely not. But I honestly believe that we can do a little bit better. We can work to the weapon strength, which is the slash, and it's also that high status chance. 28% is not bad at all, and I cannot wait to see the prime for this weapon. But before we get into that, Relentless Combination is an awesome mod. You should be having plenty of them. Plus 100% combo chance when slash status deals damage. And as you know, we got a good status chance, and our slash is pretty high. We're gonna be slashing a lot, so this would be a good idea to get our combo up a whole lot quicker. But to be honest, I don't know what to drop. If I drop anything, it's gonna be a DPS loss, so Relentless Combination, at least for now, simply doesn't have enough room. You can drop Drifting Contact if you so desire and go for Relentless Combination. Just keep in mind that your combo will drop very quickly, but you will get it back very quickly as well. So in all honesty, it's up to you. I prefer Drifting Contact simply because of the status chance. Now that is a build, a way you can go for. But through my testing, I found something that was about 15-18% more efficient. So we're just gonna remove everything. We're gonna exit this so it doesn't pollute our stats and all whatnot. There we go, we're back to stock. Now, condition overload is a must, like I said before, and there's no question about the stance, so let's just re-equip those. I wanna play more into condition overload. Ideally, what I wanna do is get the most out of condition overload, because again, I have a high status chance, I have high slash, so how can I possibly max that out? First of all, I should take into account that I need a better status chance, so we're gonna amplify that. Now, the way you get status on a target is either by high status chance, of course, but also by attack speed. How fast, how many hits are you putting in that target? That means DPS, that means more status, that means more slash, that means pretty much everything, and that's kinda what we're going for here. But first, where's my damn pressure point? There we go. This is mandatory. You simply cannot escape it. Now, let's add some 60-60 mods, shall we? Once again, we're going for viral. You gotta build this weapon for viral. And as per usual, like I told you guys before, Vicious Frost in combination with a little bit of Toxin, which is Virulent Scourge, is gonna be our viral combination, and our status chance is 61.6%. Now, I tested all possible combinations here, going for more status chance. You can go and equip the rest of the 60-60 mods and make a combination of viral with radiation. That is totally doable. So we're gonna need heat, and that's gonna be Volcanic Edge, 60-60 mod, and the last one will be electricity. Now this one is a tad more expensive, Voltaic Strike. I think people are selling it for around 50 plat right now. I may be wrong on this one. I did get it a while back. Now with this combination, we got radiation and viral. Now let's keep in mind what Condition Overload says. 60% melee damage for each status type affecting the target. Let's run a simulation in our heads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 status types times 60, that is 300% more melee damage. You get from pressure point 120, even prime pressure point will give you 165. The point is, that is a huge amount. So how can I possibly get those results to be consistent on the target? One is through status chance and the other one is through attack speed. Now let's go a little bit into attack speed. Berserker, even without the added benefit, the added critical chance of Blood Rush, is still gonna be able to be kept up 100% of the time with no problem. It's gonna be built up fast, especially if we add some attack speed. The 16% is gonna be enough, and I will demonstrate in testing. Now what about that attack speed? We keep talking about attack speed. Berserker will be the main go-to because that is 75%. That is huge. As for our last mod, well, we can force it. We can go to 100% status with Drifting Contact. Like we said earlier, I'm not gonna drop my combo. I'm gonna run from place to place, and this will yield pretty good results. I got a 100% status chance. Each and every single hit I put into the target, I'm applying a status, so I'm gonna get a bit out of Conditional Overload. Let's put it to the test though, because this is not the final version of the mod, but it is important you guys see the differences from stage to stage in order to understand the whole shebang. At least I believe so. Okay, my attack speed is climbing. I'm back on 75%. As you can see, I am shredding these guys because I am applying so much status, and the damage comes from Condition Overload. 3 status chances, and when it goes to 4, he is simply going to blow up. And of course, the combo counter will help greatly as well. Destroyed. That spike in damage that you see in their health, that is when the status chance goes from 3 to 4. That is simply when you absolutely murder him. We got 2, we're going to 3, and that's gonna be 4, and he's dead. I don't even have to do anything about it because the bleeds will kill him. That is good, that's okay. Kind of similar to the first one, more or less the same, but we can get even better results than this. Now again, throughout testing I tried mostly everything. And believe it or not, the best combination I could possibly come up with was not this one. Actually, we're gonna drop the status chance in favor for attack speed. Attack speed will mean more damage, will mean more status chance because we are putting more hits on the target. It means more slash, even though the status chance will be a bit lower. But what I do want to keep is the possibility of all 5 statuses on the target, especially considering that the combo that we're doing on our enemies, it has a guaranteed impact, I believe, on the 4th combo hit. Yes, there is a guaranteed proc there. At least if the wiki is correct and it didn't lie to me. In any case, what we're going to be doing is removing Voltaic Strike because this is the most expensive of all of them. And we're going to be keeping our heat and status chance. More speed, that's what we need. Gladiator Vice or Fury. We're gonna slap on Gladiator Vice in this case in particular because it's flat out better than Fury. It's simply an upgraded version of Fury if you wanna see it like that. You have the benefit of the set, 15% critical chance stacks with combo multiplier, so it's gonna buff our crit. That means faster stack up of Berserker, not that we actually need it. But we're not actually gonna stop there. We're gonna get rid of Drifting Contact, and we're even gonna go for Fury. And again, this setup proved to be the most DPS, both in real world scenarios and in testing. Now we're rocking an insane attack speed. The problem without Drifting Contact or without any other mod that will increase our combo duration, our combo will drop. but thanks to the super high attack speed, we're gonna build it back up super quick as well. So it's a bit of a trade-off. I'm gonna leave this one up to you. Whatever build you desire, all are worth, but in testing, this is simply the one that proved the most potent. So let's go to town. Now this should kill the enemies a whole lot more faster if my tests were correct, and I believe they were. Let's go to town on these guys. As you can see, because of that insane attack speed, my combo multiplier simply gets a whole lot higher very fast. I'm already on 102 hits. Combo multiplier 2.5. I don't need to hit this guy no more. He simply is gonna die from the bleeds. And again, that super spike in damage when 4 status effects are on the target. I wanted to keep the possibility of having 5, though it never really gets to that. The targets die way before that ever happens, and this was the build that proved to be most efficient. Now I know going berserker and crazy with attack speed can definitely not be everybody's cup of tea, but you have an option. You don't necessarily need to go like this. This simply proved the most DPS. My recommendation to you would be to drop one of the attack speed mods, of course Fury, because that is the worst of them, the weakest, and keep drifting contact for your own, well, comfort, let's say, because again, in day-to-day scenarios, you might want to keep that combo up, even if you do manage to stack it quite quickly. And with drifting contact, our status chance also goes to 90%. And as for the Gunsen, what can I say? I do love this weapon. There's not a lot of feminine melee weapons, let's call it like that. Now, somebody like Mirage wielding a giant hammer might be very anime-esque, but still, I would love to see more stuff like this being added into Warframe. And I do love that attack speed. If you're wondering about the cap, I looked it up myself, and don't worry about the attack speed cap. You can go full attack speed if you want to play a little bit of berserker. And as you can see, my combo counter is still going up super quickly. The slashes are absolutely wrecking everything, and I do have a higher status chance. So that means that even if I'm not attacking quicker, I do have a good enough chance to simply wreck these guys. And this would be smart. Again, I think this would be a smart version of the build. It's not the highest damage out of all of them, but it's the most usable from my point of view in real gameplay scenarios. Now I did say we have a Riven, so we're gonna switch to my main build. As you can see, I am running crazy attack speed because, well, I'm silly. Don't do what I did. It's a bit stupid. But in any case, again, drop Fury for drifting contact. We swapped in Prime Pressure Point, and instead of 60-60 mod that gave us cold, we swapped in this nice Riven. We got cold damage, melee damage, and critical chance. So this one would apply quite nicely to the crit build as well, with Berserker, Blood Rush, and so on and so forth, which is also a solid build, and you can go for that one as well. So let's test the weapon out like this. With the Riven, I still have viral damage simply because this one has cold and Prime Pressure Point, and we're keeping the free attack speed mods because I'm crazy like that. After which we're gonna be able to push it even further than this. We haven't been using any Warframe buffs at all. We haven't been using an aura or any arcanes that can buff our melee damage. And as you can see, as per the usual, Rivens can make quite the difference, but as I exemplified, you don't need a Riven for this weapon to be effective, not at all, and you don't need a Riven to have fun. However, speaking of Riven, Gunsen Rivens right now are super cheap because mostly nobody is looking for them. So you can get one on the down low. I got mine for like 30 plat, something like that. I rolled it a couple of times, and that's all she wrote. And yes, it does make a difference. And a Riven such as this one would be primarily good with a crit, Blood Rush, and Berserker build, of course. Now we said we're gonna take it even further than that, although the results are already super strong. Let's equip an aura that will give us a bit of melee damage, and that, as per the usual, is Steel Charge, and it will increase our melee damage by 60%. Not just for you, but for your entire party. As for arcanes, you can use something like Strike, for example. Arcane Strike will, on hit, on our free, will give you a 10% chance for plus 40% attack speed to melee weapons for 12 seconds, and as per usual, the one arcane revive. And you also have the arcane that flat out increases melee damage. We're not going to be doing that today simply because that is very expensive and I'm still in the process of getting them. But we will do, however, is activate our Warframe buffs, Mirages 1 and Third ability, which will give us about 390% extra damage, and see what can we do. In real world situations, you are gonna get some boosts from your teammates or from yourself as well, so you gotta take into account how hard you can hit with buffs as well. And as you can see, Mirage is simply tearing through them with no problem at all. They're barely surviving 2 seconds. And that is it for the Gunsen. What an awesome weapon. I love it. There is simply not enough elegant weapons in this game. I hope to see more Warfans in the future. As for me, I'm gonna thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you got any feedback for me, by all means, please leave it in the comment section down below. I will make sure to read it. See you guys next time. Bye-bye. It was Kitana from Mortal Kombat.